Community Foundation, Monica Moser, and the co-founder of the Jackson County Early Childhood Literacy Fund, Hendrik Schuur. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, it's long overdue for both of you on the
Thank
morning
you.
show.
Yeah, we're excited to be here, bright and squirrely in the morning.
For sure. So this is cool, and I mean this is something that has been talked about nationally. Childhood reading scores during the pandemic, and you and your wife, you've studied this. Talk a little bit about what you want to do to help the community.
Sure, thank you. So this journey began a little more than a year ago when we started meeting with Monica and other area educators and just concerned community members around childhood education. And in Jackson County, and this is throughout the county, reading scores are low. They're low relative to the state, and unfortunately Michigan is low relative to the rest of the nation. That was before the pandemic. So experts are saying that, since the pandemic, a lot of the early learners have lost basically 2 years of education. So other data show that basically your reading level by grade 3 is going to be predictive of the rest of your academic career. And of course, by high school, if you're not performing well, that itself is a concerning predictor of the rest of your life, your livelihood, your role in society. So on the bright side, there are programs being brought to Jackson, data-proven programs. One I'll mention is called Talking is Teaching, where trained volunteers will go into homes, and in some counties they'll go into a hospital OB unit and encounter the very youngest families with infants and give them tools, not only books to read to their children, but coaching tips like singing to one's child or pointing out colors or shapes, all of the things that go into building language, reading readiness, and hopefully academic success through life. So these are great programs. The concern is a lot of these are grant funded, and grants can come and go, and maybe they're there for a year or two, and then the bottom drops out. So
Over and over again, we see that.
Yeah.
Good things start, and then funding
Yeah,
evaporates.
we had that one thing where people went into the schools and tutored.
Energizing education is a really good example of that.
Wonderful example, and the Jackson legacy for that matter. So based on this need and wanting to provide some continuity, my wife Stephanie and I have made what for us is a significant multi-year commitment to start up a fund through the good hands of the foundation to build a safety net, a cushion for our youngest learners so that they have access to these programs and there's continuity. We want to build this for decades. And so we're reaching out to the community, individuals and families and businesses to join with us and create this.
Well, on behalf of everyone in Jackson, I want to thank you both. That's great. You mentioned the third grade, and it's funny. Just a recent report out of Akron, Ohio, the LeBron James I Promise School. They recently had a report that no 8th grader has passed a math test since 3rd grade. And it's amazing that 3rd grade time is so important, and I don't think probably parents even realize that before before the kids are to 3rd grade. It's amazing.
Yeah, this is a big deal, and it's a big opportunity for Jackson.
Well, the good news is Jackson is resource rich. So we have an intermediate school district, we have strong school systems, we have a really strong library system, and it's just making those intentional connections right at the beginning of parenthood to help everybody realize that you are your child's first educator, and that Talking is Teaching is a good example of a program that is being embraced by the ISD, but there are so many other kinds of cool things that are happening too. And so Hendrik's idea of establishing this fund and bringing people together around that common issue is exactly the kind of systems change that we've been talking about for years and years and years, right? It's more than, it has to take more than one person to be able to make change, especially such a big change like this. If we could have this next generation of kindergartners, first graders, second graders, third graders really ready and having all of those skills developed before they even get to school, imagine how much further along we'll be as a
Right,
community.
So we've been giving boatloads of free books to kids
Yeah.
in Jackson, but it's not enough.
It's wonderful to do, and I took part in that this past spring, and it's so energizing. But those are the kids who are reading,
Right.
and we need to reach the ones who are struggling. So,
Makes sense, for sure. Monica, if someone wants to get involved in this fund, donate, learn a little bit more, how do they do that?
Well, you can reach directly out to me at the Jackson Community Foundation. You can even just go and donate online to the
Okay.
Jackson County Early Literacy Fund. Hendrik and I are going to be doing a circuit. You're the first stop on our circuit
All right.
of talking to people. I would love to see chamber members get involved. We have current funds at the foundation that have similar ideas around literacy, and gathering them together to say, could we, work
Align,
together and
right.
align? So there's a lot of great opportunity, and I think it's kind of a no-brainer when people. I remember the moment when I realized, the word. I think there's if you could just get over so many words per day, or just saying those words out loud, even though your child is not,
right. Yeah.
it does make a difference in helping them with those the development of those skills. And so I just really feel like we can do this.
this is an opportunity.
Yeah.
Do you remember teaching me to read?
Oh,
I don't think
I
we
think-
succeeded.
I knew that was coming later.
My mother taught me, and
Well, with
I'm
all
very
the-
well read.
All the screen time that kids
It's
they're-
serious,
They're
yeah.
not reading. They're looking at videos.
yeah.
I mean, you'd think that with the access to all the technology, that would be getting better.
I
at it.
think there's a parent-child connection that is so needed in this equation, and reading to one's child. How can you be closer than that?
Yeah.
It builds
We-
such a wonderful connection.
We did read to you. a
I
lot.
know. Yes, I know.
We
There's
even read
photo-
to you
photograph-
before you were born.
Yes, we
a
did
lot
that
of
with
parents
our,
do.
our
Sure.
daughter, too.
And grandparents.
Yeah.
Yes. And that there's studies that say that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's important. I think it's important for every family to make time, to do that reading before that at some point, some type of routine.
It's an emotional connection as
Yeah.
well as building language.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it could be as simple as driving in your car and pointing out, what do you think that sign says? What color is that house?
Right.
Those things are learning language and relate to reading eventually. And so,
We did that. We
did
we
that?
drove around and I read every sign in computer voice.
oh,
Remember that?
I don't. I don't. So maybe you should go on the tour and
I
give all
think
your
it's great.
tactics as well.
So there's a goal for this.
the
fund.
goal is to raise $1 million. That's our
At
mission.
least
Awesome.
$1 million. $1 million is a threshold, but
Okay.
I think we can do well beyond that.
All right.
Hendrik has
So-
seeded it with a nice seed. And so we just want to see it grow.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah, that's a great thing for Jackson, a great thing for our kids. That's a great thing to donate to for sure.
Well, and Hendrik and I are willing to go on, we're going
We're
on the
gonna go on
tour.
a
So
road show,
if
right?
you
Okay.
are involved in a service club, or you have an adult reading group, a book club, and you want to get involved,
Count
reach
us
out
in.
to us,
Okay.
count us
Yeah.
in. We'll come and talk to you.
Very
and,
cool.
big and small donations help, and the building that endowment is what our goal is.
It
so.
absolutely is.
Great.
Yeah, and Jackson is Hendrik's adopted town. He's
Thank
well,
you.
actually, Kalamazoo spent a good deal of time working with the Kalamazoo Promise and other initiatives there. And it's great that you're making such a great commitment to Jackson.
Well, I've been working here for 25 years, and
Wow.
so that's a good start.
Yeah.
Yeah, great to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you
We're
both.
lucky.
Monica Moser and Hendrik Schuur. More of the morning show after this.